Chris Godwin is going to be the biggest winner in all of free agency, mostly because the money that he is going to get from Tom Brady in exchange for the number 12 jersey is going to be far greater than what Bill O'Brien and the Houston Texans got for DeAndre Hopkins. Seriously, what was going on with the Texans? And the Texans had the audacity to try to replace DeAndre Hopkins with Randall Cobb. That's like trying to replace your stolen car with a toaster. I don't want anything to do. Poor Deshaun Watson. Like, you got to feel for him. Honestly, I know the Bears made a trade for Nick Foles, but would it have killed Ryan Pace to call up Bill O'Brien and be like, hey, man, I'll give you Mitch for Deshaun Watson straight up right now. Let's do it. I hope he made that call. He should have at least. That, by far, he needed to make that call. So we'll see. Chris Godwin, I think, is going to benefit greatly. Now, obviously, he was one of the best receivers last season, and a lot of people will be drafting him this year. And you're like, well, what's the difference? Jameis Winston threw for $5,000. He had 30 touchdowns. Obviously, he had 30 receptions. Why is Tom Brady going to make him so much better? But I do believe that this is huge because when you're not turning the ball over so much, you get more opportunities to be on the field. And you look last year, Julian Edelman had 100 receptions. The number 2 guy, James White, was 72. The number 3 guy was Philip Dorsett, who had 29. So for me, Chris Godwin, at a bare minimum, has 100 receptions next season. Wouldn't surprise me if he gets close to like 120 or something like that. So I really love Chris Godwin. He might end up being my wide receiver 1 coming into next season. It'll be between him and Michael Thomas, 2 guys who will be battling with 40-year-old quarterbacks. You'll love to see it. Mike Evans, still like him as a wide receiver 1, and I do think that his air yards per target are obviously going to go down. That is not going to be a part of Tom Brady's game. But his touchdowns could go up. Mike Evans could end up being that big-bodied receiver that Tom Brady has been looking for ever since Rob Gronkowski retired. So that could be huge for him too. But the problem is when you have a touchdown-dependent guy, that could end up hurting his draft stock a little bit, which is why I would favor Chris Godwin moving forward. But he is one of the winners. He is one of my 5 winners, Chris Godwin, not only for the money he's going to get from Tom Brady, who just made $30 million. So I think he's going to be able to spare it a little bit. But congratulations to Chris Godwin right there. Let's move on to Josh Allen. I thought that he ended up doing pretty well with getting Stephon Diggs onto the team. Stephon Diggs, he'll still be as valuable as he ever was. One of the best route runners in the game, and you can make your jokes about Josh Allen overthrowing him or whatever you want to do. That's fine. Make your jokes. I don't care. That's fine. But here's my thing. You got a receiving core that now has Stephon Diggs, John Smokey Brown, Cole Beasley. They did get rid of Isaiah McKenzie. That's fine. But the thing is you look at it now, this is huge for Josh Allen. And I know a lot of you will be up like, oh, he melted down in the playoffs. Like, no kidding. I've seen Peyton Manning shit his pants in the playoffs as a young quarterback as well. Don't let that dissuade you in fantasy football. Josh Allen is going to be one of the biggest winners. And when everybody is making a rush to go get Kyler Murray, who of course will be on this list, when you're looking at Patrick Mahomes, when you're looking at Lamar Jackson, I will let those guys fly off the board in the first 3 rounds. I will patiently wait. Right there, I'll be waiting for Josh Allen. I will happily take him, and I will happily use him as a league winner. Last year, I told you this. I said Lamar Jackson is going to be a league winner. Josh Allen could be the same way. And you can be like, 49ers, 3-13. Nobody gives a shit. We don't care anymore. And this is my YouTube channel, so I can go ahead and cut if I want to. All right, number 3. Which way am I going? Am I counting down? Am I going up? It doesn't matter. DJ Moore. Teddy Bridgewater is the new quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. He's going to be fine. Teddy Bridgewater is a guy that you could probably see being a fringe quarterback 1. Somebody, again, if you're going to wait on a quarterback, if somebody sneaks in and takes Josh Allen for you and you end up with Teddy Bridgewater, it might not be the end of the world. Reunited with Joe Brady, all right, there's a lot of things going on. But if you've seen anything from Teddy Bridgewater, the yards per attempt, very low. So we can't expect Curtis Samuel to go out there and have a great season, but we can look at DJ Moore. Again, another guy who could end up approaching 100 receiving yards. That'd be great. 100 receptions. So I really like DJ Moore this year. I know a lot of people, I don't know, I'm trying to explain this to you. The routes that he runs, the game that Teddy Bridgewater plays, will benefit a player like DJ Moore. Don't let the haters on the internet try to dissuade you from this. DJ Moore was great last year. Again, this was another guy that we had picked out last season. And he did pretty well for us. He was good until he got hurt. If he didn't get hurt at week 15, week 16, he would have been a great receiver for us. This is a perfect quarterback for DJ Moore. So you got to love it. So we're excited about DJ Moore. When I'm starting to look at some of these guys that I'm going to be drafting, DJ Moore is definitely going to be on the list. If I end up with a team that has, if you get Chris Godwin, you go George Kittle, maybe you go running back in round 3, maybe you go DJ Moore, I think you could end up doing pretty well for yourself. Let's talk about Kyler Murray. I guess it would be number 2. Kyler Murray obviously benefits from DeAndre Hopkins and Bill O'Brien's stupidity. Bill O'Brien had a huge issue for whatever reason with DeAndre Hopkins, and that's fine. Why didn't you get a first-round pick for him, Bill O'Brien? What exactly were you doing? I can't figure it out. I want to know what you were doing. It makes absolutely no sense to me. But in any event, this is great news. Not only do they get DeAndre Hopkins, by being able to move David Johnson, whose best years are well behind him. Well behind him. So you look at that, and now you get to keep Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake, traded from the Dolphins, the post-Adam Gase effect, goes out there, rushes for 8 touchdowns, has a bunch of rushing yards. He's active in the passing game. This is a great move. This all helps Kyler Murray. The only thing that I will tell you, last year, a second-year quarterback from Oklahoma got an all-world wide receiver, and the fantasy world went bananas for him. We're going to draft this guy, and listen, myself included. So maybe, I'm not saying that it's going to happen to Kyler Murray. I'm excited about him. He'll probably be my quarterback 2 heading into the season. He'll be too rich for my blood. People will end up drafting him, will end up overdrafting him. I still think it'll be fine. I think it's unfair to put the Baker stink on him. Because it's not like Freddie Kitchens is the coach of the Arizona Cardinals. I'm just saying there's some similarities there if you want to take it that far. But let's go to number 1. Let's talk about Baker Mayfield. Yeah, number 1, Baker Mayfield. Again, a lot of people will avoid him because of what happened last season. And that's understandable. I understand. Like, there are guys who have burned me in the past. Like, I always had a bad fantasy relationship with Cam Newton, who I love as a player, but always in fantasy, it never worked out for us. And that's fine. So I understand if you don't want to take Baker and people are going to laugh at you and everybody's going to talk S when you draft him in fantasy this year. The jokes are going to happen. And it's fine. The good news is, number 1, you can probably wait till the 15th round to get him because nobody's going to want to touch him. But he is a huge winner this week in fantasy, in free agency, I should say. Number 1, they get Austin Hooper, who I think is still going to have a lot of fantasy value. Like, well, he's there with OBJ and Jarvis Landry. Well, last year, he was on the Atlanta Falcons, who had Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. He still had 75 receptions and didn't even play a full season. So Austin Hooper is going to be just fine. The biggest news was Jack Conklin. Jack Conklin went out there. That's a great signing because the biggest need for the Cleveland Browns offensively was on the offensive line. And now they go out and they address that. And you bring in a guy like Kevin Stefanski, who is going to be running the offense or at least have a huge input on that. The great thing with Kevin Stefanski is that he runs a lot of 2 tight end sets. That means a lot of Austin Hooper, David Njoku. So you look at those 2 guys, a lot of 2 tight end sets. I'm not sure that David Njoku is going to have a lot of fantasy value. Feel like it'll be funneled through Austin Hooper. But he's going to be on the field, and this is going to make everybody better. So OBJ is going to be somebody that will probably be able to go out there and steal in your fantasy drafts because nobody's going to want to draft him. Nick Chubb will be drafted appropriately, but he should go out there and play very well. But Baker Mayfield, a quarterback that perhaps now trust is a tough word, but I think that he definitely won from what had happened with free agency. I thought the Browns did a really nice job. Ever since hiring Kevin Stefanski, it seems like they've hit all the right notes. And again, people are not going to believe in Cleveland. They'll be like, it's Cleveland. We've been down this road before. And I understand that. And I'm not even going to try to talk you out of that. It is going to take a leap of faith to jump on the Baker bandwagon. And you know what? Honestly, I need to give those kids that love to talk S on me about my prediction about the 49ers, I need to give them something new. Because I'm going to crush it again this year. I mean, I missed 2 picks, like whatever. But I got to give them something new to get on me about, because it was really troubling for them, because I was all over Lamar Jackson. I was all over DJ Moore. I was all over A.J. Brown, Cooper Kupp, David Montgomery. All right, maybe not David Montgomery. Fair enough. Some other guys, though. Those are my 5 biggest winners. I'll talk about briefly, go over some of these other names. I thought that A.J. Green, I think this could end up benefiting him working with Joe Burrow. Obviously, he probably wanted to go to another team. Maybe he wants to go to the Buccaneers. That'd be fun. But he'll be fun there. Jordan Howard. Again, Jordan Howard is one of the most disrespected running backs in the game, but I love what Flores is doing. Obviously, they're going to have to go out there. They're going to draft another running back. Probably. They need a running back who can catch the football, and that doesn't bother me. He's a 2-down back. It's fine. But where you're going to end up drafting him, he's going to be a good player for you. He's going to be a solid RB2. If you draft him as your RB1, you're going to be S out of luck. But as an RB2, I love this move for him. This is great. We also take a look at the 49ers. Oh, one of the things that I thought was great with the 49ers, and where this could be fantasy relevant, DeForest Buckner gets traded to the Indianapolis Colts. The 49ers get back the 13th overall selection. They're going to use that on a wide receiver. CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, somebody like that, maybe Henry Ruggs III. One of these receivers is going to the 49ers, and that is going to be nothing but great news. The 49ers really did a great job, too. That could help Jimmy Garoppolo as well. The running game is going to be top-notch. I really liked what the 49ers did. As much, and I know this is probably going to get some real football kind of mixed in here as well, but as much as I liked what the Arizona Cardinals have done over the past couple of days, which has been amazing, I really like what the 49ers did. I know it's tough to part with a guy like DeForest Buckner, but you know what? You can't pay everybody. I mean, they kept as many guys as they could. Now they're going to have one of the best rookie receivers. Hopefully, they don't get usurped or people don't jump in front of them or anything like that. But they could end up, if they end up with CeeDee Lamb, I would love to draft him. I think he could end up having an A.J. Brown type season. Believe that. Also, Nick Foles. Probably wondering how, listen, I like the Nick Foles thing. I don't know. I'm not a snob. I'm a Bears fan. All right. See all the New Era hats that I got over there? Thank you, New Era. Thank you, Travis Matthew. I'm not wearing sunglasses, but thank you to Knock Around Sunglasses as well. You guys are the best. Great partners, by the way. That's my commercial for you. Number 1, Nick Foles. The 3 best quarterbacks the Bears have had during my lifetime are McMahon, Cutler, and Walter Payton on the halfback option. That's it. F the other guys. Nick Foles is coming in to compete for the starting job. Either he makes Mitch Trubisky a great player, or he becomes the starting quarterback midway through the season, like Ryan Tannehill, following that model, and he goes out there and he crushes it. Why are you guys being ridiculous about this? It's like when you think you're out of beer, stores are closed, and you're like, son of a bitch. But you look deep in the fridge and you see a Michelob Ultra. Not your first choice, not your second choice, probably not even your third or fourth choice. But it will do the damn job. Let him go out and do his thing. Ryan Pace acting like this is probably going to be his last season. Jimmy Graham, I thought, was stupid. But Nick Foles, I'm really all about this. Think this could be good. And Allen Robinson. How are we not happy for Allen Robinson? This could end up being the best quarterback he has ever played for. So let's give it a shot. You look at what the Titans did last year, and everybody clowned them for bringing in Ryan Tannehill. What happened? They got all the way to the AFC Championship game. So give Nick Foles a chance here. All right. Thank you, everybody. Like and subscribe to this page. Big thanks to Hytham Kalani for adding a little bit of flavor here. We do appreciate that. So good luck. We'll see you soon. Be safe, everybody, and have a good one. Oh, big thanks to Mitch Hine also for putting this all together for those of you listening as a podcast. He also wrote the original score for this. So big thanks to Mitch Hine. Big thanks to Hytham Kalani. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you soon. Be safe. Good night.